Wholeness, the first spiritual law of the universe. Spiritual engineering is a systematic approach to equipping you with the spiritual, mental, and practical tools that you can use to awaken the sublime self that is within you and whose glory you came here to manifest. The basic premise of spiritual engineering is that spirit is the infinite and eternal source of all reality. The spontaneous outpouring of this spirit from the infinite source of being toward infinite self-expression makes up the fountain or current which we experience as life. This life force flows through the human heart to generate emotion, through the human mind to generate thought, and through the human body to generate action. Since emotion, thought, and action are all energy forms that can be measured, the spiritual life can be resolved into a science. Humans no longer have the need to enslave themselves with cultural, religious, and occultic creeds, myths, dogmas, rituals, and stereotypes that keep people in perpetual fear and dependency. One can deliberately orchestrate one's emotional, mental, and corporal energies and bring them into alignment with a state of spiritual awareness, and by so doing become a vortex through which the divine essence manifests spontaneously into the states of beauty, peace, and abundance. When we approach success through the doorway of self-transformation or spiritual metamorphosis, we become the embodiment of that state called heaven, and our lives become the splendor of God. In this state, health, wealth, love, joy, and all abundance become our natural experience. The world currently teaches you that you can become a better you, that you can better your condition by working harder, applying success techniques, using mental and emotional triggers to harness the law of attraction, and so on. But I tell you this, every life that is not immersed in the source of life is a ghost of itself, and struggle can only be its natural estate. Every effort that is not in alignment with the logos of life is like using a kitchen knife to fell an iroko tree. But on the other hand, when you are immersed in the source and your feelings, thoughts, words, and deeds are aligned with the logos, it is no longer you that lives, but life itself glorifying itself through you. The first law of the universe is that of wholeness. Wholeness also means unity, oneness, or totality. Now let us do a little exercise. If you take an imaginary journey through your body, traveling inward, you will notice that your body is made up of organs. Your organs are made up of tissues. Your tissues are made up of cells. Your cells are made up of molecules. The molecules are made up of atoms. The atoms are made up of electrons, protons, and neutrons. These subatomic particles are made up of pockets of light called quanta, and the quanta receive their mass from a field or space that is immaterial in nature and has so far defied scientific characterization. This inner space has been called the zero-point field, the unified field, the divine matrix, or the source field. Now let us flip the exercise. If you take an imaginary journey from your body, traveling outward, you will notice that your body lives on planet Earth. Planet Earth is part of a solar system. Our solar system is part of the Milky Way Galaxy. Our Milky Way Galaxy is part of a cluster of galaxies. Our cluster is part of a supercluster, and beyond the superclusters, there is an infinitely expanding field or space which defies scientific characterization. It is this sense of mystery in outer space that has brought about the concept of dark matter and black holes. The latest theories advanced by some of the finest theoretical physicists of recent years now postulate that the inner space and the outer space are actually one and the same thing. This is something we know from inductive reasoning. But when we have mathematical equations that actually prove this, it changes everything. If inner space and outer space are the same space, then we come to the conclusion that all is one. That this one is the space that constitutes over 99.9% of reality, and that all the observable universe constitutes less than 0.1% of reality, and is just a phenomenon that is occurring within this infinite space. If unity is the ultimate reality, it means that all things are the one thing in expression, the same way that all the uncountable rays of the sun are but the one sun spreading itself in different directions, and the same way that all the countless waves upon the sea are but the one sea dancing in different directions. With this knowledge comes the expanded awareness by which you begin to see and know for sure that one, whatever it is that you call God, you are one with that God. This is the awareness that redeems you from a fear-based religion to a spirituality of love and celebration. 2. Beyond the masks of gender, race, color, tribe, nationality, social class, and religion that billions of people in the world wear, everyone is actually the same you wearing a different mask. This awareness is the light that dispels the darkness of hate, envy, competition, strife, war, and all the evil that man commits against himself, ignorantly thinking that he is hurting someone else. 3. If all things exist in this oneness called God, and you are one with this God, then all things exist in you right now. This is the awareness that gives you a quantum leap from the natural domain where people pursue success as something that is external to them and that they need to do something to earn, to the divine domain where you manifest success simply by knowing yourself and giving of yourself. Now that we know that the black hole of the quantum physicists is the same as the black hole of the astrophysicists, we can now unite the two congregations of scientists under the single temple of wisdom, whose high priests are the spiritual masters of ancient Egypt, who taught this law of wholeness more than 3,000 years before Jesus was born. With this new scientific insight, you are now mentally prepared to grasp the concept that the word holy, H-O-L-Y, is actually from the same root as whole, W-H-O-L-E. And that the Holy Spirit, which religion has misrepresented as a ghost that is emanating from some celestial tyrannical lord, is actually the whole spirit or whole essence of life, whose nature can only be unconditional love, grace, and perpetual expansion. We will go deeper into this tomorrow. I am GodfreyEsoh. Thank you for following this episode of Raptures of Inspiration.